Hi everyone, Nurse Susan here. Today I wanted to talk about drug interactions with CBD or cannabidiol. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because there are a lot of CBD products that are kind of flooding the market. Some of questionable quality, but we'll talk about that another time. The thing that I wanted to focus on today is that more than 60% of the marketed drugs in the US will have an interaction with CBD. And the reason for that is because all of those drugs get broken down or metabolized by a group of enzymes called the cytochrome P450 enzymes. That same class of enzymes also breaks down cannabinoids, especially CBD. So the risk is that if you have a constant ingestion of CBD, and the liver prefers CBD because it's very much like the natural components that our body produces. So it has a preferential treatment to cannabinoids, and so it will break them down first. And so if you're constantly ingesting CBD, your liver never gets around to breaking down the prescription meds. So what happens is the level of the prescription drugs in your blood will increase. So there are a couple of drugs that I want to call out specifically because this is a very serious issue. The first one is Propranolol, which is a beta blocker. It's used for hypertension, for migraines, for essential tremor, and so it lowers blood pressure. So if you're taking a drug that is lowering your blood pressure and you're getting too much of the drug because it's not being metabolized, then you have a risk of very low blood pressure, which will impede the perfusion or the ability of your blood to get to vital organs, and you may faint, etc. So if you're on propranolol, please give a 2-hour window between the time that you take your CBD and the time that you take your prescription meds. The other drug that is a very serious potential problem with CBD is Coumadin. So Coumadin is a blood thinner. It's often given for people with clotting problems, and also called an anticoagulant. So again, if you can imagine, if that Coumadin is not being broken down by the liver, and the levels of Coumadin increase in the blood, the risk of hemorrhage is real, and that can cause death. So please be very careful with CBD. And if you go to the App Store, there is an app called Medscape, Medscape, like landscape, only Medscape. And there is a drug interaction checker. And if you put in marijuana and all of the drugs that you're taking, it will let you know if there are any interactions that you need to think about. And if so, the way to deal with that is to give a 2-hour window between the time you take your dose of cannabis and the time you take your dose of the prescription meds. That will give the liver the time that it needs to break down both compounds. So stay safe and take care.